Today, we've got controversy. In this video, we're going to talk about OpenAI committing plagiarism. That's right. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman responded on X to a recent lawsuit filed by the startup AIO, which accuses the company of trademark infringement. The lawsuit stems from OpenAI's announcement in May that it was acquiring the AI hardware startup founded by former Apple executive Jony Ive, and the company was called AIO. In other words, AIO, pretty similar, right? And that's not all. We're going to explain everything in today's video, but first, leave a comment below. Do you think they'll actually manage to launch a replacement for the smartphone? Or at least something that will get you off your phone screen? Is that what they're promising? Let's go straight to my computer screen. What's going on? I actually announced this back in May in a video called Sam and Jony Present AIO. Is OpenAI going to launch the successor to the smartphone? Notice that AIO and IO are basically the same name as the startup that's suing them, just with a Y in front, right? And this person, the owner of the startup, is saying that they're not only copying the company's name, but also the actual device. What's interesting about this, OpenAI, look, I'm on their website here, on their YouTube channel, they took down that video. That video is in here, right? Which was basically the meeting between Sam Altman and Jony Ive. Who is Jony Ive anyway? Jony Ive is a former chief designer at Apple and was responsible for the MacBook, the iPhone. He was behind their design, right? And then OpenAI bought Jony Ive's startup, and in this partnership, they're going to launch a device where you don't need two, for example. Imagine you're going to talk to ChatGPT. You have to get your computer, turn it on, open it up, then open ChatGPT and ask, what if there were a device where you didn't need to use your hands? And that's why I'm using my Ray-Ban Meta glasses, because I have artificial intelligence in my glasses here, and I can ask whatever I want without using my hands. So we were thinking it could be glasses, but there's also the possibility that it could be a copy of this device. I took a clip from a video by a specialist here, and at the end of the video, I'll leave the link to their channel for you to subscribe. It's really worth it, okay? Let's go straight to my computer screen to react to the news. Let's go.
See this little guy here? He has a company called AIO, which is spelled in a pretty weird way, but basically it has these little earbuds here that you can see.
I mean, what's interesting is that he already showed what we were thinking about. That's what I'm talking about in my video. The video I showed, I'll leave it here in the cards at the end for you to watch, okay? I posted it both on my Portuguese channel, as well as in English, Spanish, and German. Check it out later, and then you'll be able to watch the original OpenAI video that was taken down. But basically, we predicted that it could either be glasses or headphones, except these headphones would have some kind of camera to take pictures, but to understand the environment. And then the personthi, the device could say something like, so where do you want to go? Then it gives you directions, the map, or maybe you see something and ask what it is, and it tells you what it is. In this sense, it's a camera that provides spatial awareness and can give you information about the environment, but not take photos or record videos like my Ray-Ban Meta glasses, right? Let's go.
And this little microphone here for talking, it does exactly what OpenAI's IO does, along with that guy from Apple. So let's understand the controversy that's going on. Here's what happened. OpenAI removed all mentions of its AIO Project C, how it's written IO, right? After the trademark dispute with EYO, which is pronounced AIO audio.
In other words, do I even need to comment? It's basically the same name to launch the same device. Because if it were AIO, like the company that sells washing machines, for example, it would have nothing to do with it. Then, okay, there would be a fight over the name. But when they're totally different things... Anyway, Apple had a problem in Brazil because the name iPhone was already being used by another company before the iPhone was launched. Isn't that crazy? And there was a dispute, so it could have happened. But in that case, if it were something completely different, there wouldn't be a problem. Now, do you think OpenAI was acting in bad faith? Were they copying a small company? Leave your comment below.
So OpenAI's IO is practically the same product as EYO, which is also pronounced AIO. And look, OpenAI removed all references to its AIO project after a trademark dispute with AIO Audio, whose name is pronounced the same way as AIO. the planned AI device, a collaboration between Sam Altman and Jony Ive, who is the guy from Apple, was originally announced under the name AIO, but AIO Audio objected and filed a lawsuit. AIO Audio, which is working on a similar AI product and presented it during a TED Talk in 2024, that is last year, claims the rights to the name. And one important thing about copyright issues, let's imagine there was a bakery called AIO, and Sam Altman is creating his artificial intelligence device, also called AIO. In this case, since the products are very different, the bakery has nothing to do with this product. Trademark issues would most likely say, look, the niche is different, the focus is different, so there's no problem. Both companies will continue with the same name. But in this case, folks, it's practically the same product. OpenAI says it disagrees with IO's trademark claim and is reviewing its options.
Now, when they launched the version of ChatGPT with audio, right, with that natural conversation, Sam Altman used Scarlett Johansson's voice, the actress who plays Black Widow in the Avengers, right? She did. And then what happened? Scarlett Johansson said, take it down now or I'll sue. I'm not even sure if there was actually a lawsuit. Let me know in the comments, but either it was the start of a lawsuit or she threatened to sue. So they took it down. And then Sam Altman said the following. Look, I made her an offer. I tried to negotiate to pay her and she refused. So what happened next? They put in a voice that was practically the same. Everyone was saying, no, that's the actress's voice. Anyway, what does that mean? OpenAI does controversial things, let's put it that way. Now, I don't know if, for example, the name is fine. They can change it, but would they really change an entire project just because of one guy? You know? Like, even if they are copying, right? But still, if they've already started developing a project, well, there you go. Do you want a better example of copying than iPhone and Android and iPhone, right? Everything gets copied, right? After Ray-Ban Meta released their glasses, everyone is copying this now, right? Everyone is launching their own version. In fact, when Google releases theirs at the end of the year, I'm going to buy it because that jerk Mark Zuckerberg only keeps this thing all closed off with just a few apps, a few languages, and Google is going to come in and blow it out of the water. So I'm going to buy Google's glasses, which are very similar to the Ray-Ban Meta. Anyway, right? But let's keep going here. I believe it's going to be either headphones or glasses, right? I prefer it to be glasses, but anyway.
Man, sorry to say it, OpenAI. If those guys have already registered the name, you're going to lose. It's not clear whether Eve intended to keep using the name IO after OpenAI acquired the hardware startup, which was founded before the official announcement of the partnership. So, if it wasn't going to change, now it will. Why? Because this guy's product, which he presents here in 13 minutes at TED Talks, is exactly the same thing. He complains, he says the following, look, I don't want to keep picking up my phone. He wants to interact with artificial intelligence without having to keep looking at the screen and doing all these things. And all those ideas that Sam Altman talks about, he was already talking about and already doing. So unless Sam Altman is very creative and he thought of something really different from this, which I don't think he did, so only in this case will he be able to get out of this guy's shadow and get that name, which I think is very unlikely. Why?
Now, first of all, like I said, right, aside from the whole, oh, I was the first to launch thing or something like that, what really matters is execution. In fact, this isn't even new, right? They launched that brooch, right? There were two, the AI pin and the rabbit AI, something like that. And it was a brooch that, why do I say was? Because it's already gone under, it's already bankrupt, right? So basically it was, and Apple too, they launched a brooch that you could talk to, but it worked really poorly. Yeah, it had some kind of infrared, right? I'll even pull it up here just for nostalgia's sake, right? Let's look it up on Google, right? Yeah, AI pin, right? So basically it was this device right here. Look, it was small, even kind of cute, you could say. Then you would clip it on here. What's the problem with clipping it here? You end up looking kind of weird, right? In the video where I talked about the new Ray-Ban Oakley, I showed my Google Glass and basically why did it fail? Besides obviously being released way too early and the technology not being that good yet, you also look like Tony Stark, right? So walking around the street, walking in the mall with this thing was really weird, right? Only a beautiful woman could maybe pull it off, right? Anyway, what does that mean? It flopped. It didn't work well. It had this infrared thing that also didn't work well, and it was expensive. So, I mean, yeah, it failed, right? What does that mean? Someone can launch a pair of headphones. Let me get back to the video here. The guy can launch a pair of headphones that suddenly these headphones are way too big, really ugly, and don't work properly. So sometimes the winner isn't the one who launches first, but the one who comes out with a really good design, something wearable that people actually use, like glasses, for example. People already wear glasses. What problem is being solved here? It's a Ray-Ban, and now it's an Oakley. Then they're gonna launch it, and there was also a partnership with Prada. So if it's a stylish pair of glasses you're already wearing, then if you are already using them, I'll use them too, except now they have new features. So if they release headphones that people already use, then you just have to bring the headphones, right? But people already use headphones, and if it has a good design, is well made, and is affordable, that's it. People will buy it. Glasses that cost $300 to $400, there were already more expensive glasses. There were already glasses at the same price that didn't have these features like taking photos, camera, artificial intelligence, listening to music. So usually the winner isn't the one who launches first, right? But the one who launches in a way that has better execution. But comment below with your opinion. That's mine. Just a reminder, everyone, that now we have our members club. If you're level 1, you'll get early access to the videos. You'll get priority replies to your comments. And if you're level 2, on top of all that, you'll get exclusive videos just for members. And if you make a post in our community, anyone subscribe to the channel can do it. You can even add your image. But if you're level 2, I'll reply to your community post with priority. You can ask whatever you want. It could be an analysis of a video, an opinion, a recommendation for artificial intelligence, or any comment you want me to respond to about business or something you're thinking about. If you want my opinion on a post, become a level 2 member. There's a join button down below. Just click it, okay? If you want to watch this video about the announcement, which is now offline and you can't watch it from OpenAI anymore, I'll leave this video here so you can keep going with me, all right? I'll see you in the next video. See you soon!